You're listening to the Black Minds Matters podcast in association with WCEN. Hey, what's good? I hope you're all blessed wherever you are. My name is Peaks, and you're listening to the Black Minds Matters podcast show in association with WCEN. I am also joined with
Mr. X. What's good, everybody? I hope everyone's all good.
All good here. Lovely day again. So the reason for this podcast show is to make sure that people are informed about what's going on during this current pandemic and lockdown. We want to make sure as well that you're inspired and that you've got some inspiration and to keep your spirits lifted, because you know we're all going through something at this time. But we're going to be speaking to a multitude of people, from students, people in the creative arts, people who are employed, people who are unemployed. If you're a young person, you're into music, entertainment, spoken word, whatever it is, this is going to be the platform where you can hear from different people about how people are dealing with this current kind of situation, and hopefully we'll all come out of this a wee bit more informed or sharing some more opinions and things. So this is going to be the platform for that. And on today's show, we're going to be speaking to Yousou. He's an 18-year-old student from South London, currently studying A-levels in psychology. He's a CT leader in Blackmindsmatter, and he also works at Burger King. So Yousou, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
What's good? Where's your name from?
Oh, Senegal.
Senegal. Same. So you're good, though, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
You're sounding quite chilled, but
yeah, it's chilled. It's early.
Yeah.
It's early kind of part of the day, and it's still so yeah.
All right, lovely. So we'll get into it. So I've just done a little brief introduction to everybody who's listening. So if you can just give us a little brief history about kind of like who you are, where you're from, and what you're studying, and everything, just kind of in the run up to what's happening just before this lockdown.
All right. So, I do my A-levels right now. I'm studying psychology, sociology, religious studies in Italian. And I came to this country like 4 years ago. I used to live in Italy.
Oh.
Yeah, and I just recently moved to England. And yeah, I wasn't even born in Italy. I just stayed there 8 years because I was born in Africa. So I moved around quite a lot. Yeah, and I'm trying to go to uni to study law. Yeah, and I used to play basketball as well. And yeah.
You said you were born in Africa, Senegal. Was that, sorry?
Yeah.
Okay, so what made you move from there to Italy, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. It was my parents' decision, really, but I would say it was just better education. Or yeah.
How does Italy compare to London?
There's not much to compare it with, because Italy is not really multicultural compared to but the racism in Italy is very high. Whereas
Really?
London, there is still subtle racism, but it's multicultural, so you don't really notice it.
Yeah. So you found that Italy was a lot more racist. Did you actually, was you seeing it firsthand, or was it just from friends or people that you witnessed, or was you actually getting racist towards you as well?
I witnessed it firsthand, because the racism there is high. Like every single day, I used to get racist comments and everything.
Really?
And it was kind of normalized.
And it's kind of normalized. And were they from people your age, or were they from elders, or what kind of people? What did you see the racism from?
A bit of both, but it was mainly my age. And I saw the young girls as well that was starting to get racist as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So obviously this is quite recent as well.
Yeah.
Wow. So obviously, coming to London, as you say, it's still there, but it's not as obvious.
It's subtle.
Yeah. Okay. Are you studying now? Oh, so obviously before the lockdown, was you studying?
Yeah, before the lockdown, I used to do my A-levels, but now I'm still doing online lessons, but it kind of stopped.
Same. So what are you doing in the meantime? I'm being at home now.
Yeah, no, because I go to work right now, and sometimes I do my homework.
Actually, you're one of the lucky ones who are actually still able to work. Did your work get put back on after a while, or were you always working through the course of what's going on just now during this lockdown?
As soon as the lockdown started, where I work, that kind of closed for like 2 weeks.
Right.
And it just reopened recently.
Do you work in a fast food restaurant, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, and is it just takeaway? It's not people sitting in. Is that right?
Nah, it's only takeaway now.
Okay, cool. It's only takeaway, cool. So that they're starting to be
And
a bit
yeah.
relaxed on takeaway places and stuff like that. So again, as Speak said, you're one of the lucky ones that's still working. Are you able to adjust according to what's going on? Because obviously you got to stay in most of the time. I'm not sure if you were someone that was always going out, seeing friends and stuff like that. How has it been for you since lockdown? Because we're now 7 weeks into it.
7 weeks.
Yeah. Basically, like it was kind of hard for me to adapt because I'm like usually I was used to get waking up, going to school, coming back home, etc. I'm not used to staying home every day, but I'm slowly adapting to it. Yeah,
Well, what's been maybe one of the biggest challenges for you then, would you say, about adapting it?
it's staying on timetable with my lessons.
Right.
Yeah,
So as a
because
student.
What do you foresee? I mean, like if this carries on for another like month, basically, and stuff like that, you're one of the lucky ones and stuff. But if this carries on for another month, how do you see people your age dealing with it?
I feel like one of the biggest problems with this lockdown is people's mental health because many people are going through family problems and like many people didn't really used to stay at home a lot. So as we can see, like the rise in domestic abuse has been it's been increasing, and like many people are suffering from it, and they're not reporting it. So if this carries on for 1 month, like people's mental health, etc., could be like heavily damaged.
What you're saying is actually quite right, because I'm starting to hear and see that a lot now. Because obviously, the obvious reason, obviously, this lockdown is obviously to try to keep people safe from the virus, but at the same time, it's creating other problems which a lot of people just haven't foreseen. Black people or BME people basically seem to be the hardest hit, and this is coming from a worldwide basis. What's your view on that? And have you seen anything that's kind of like that's been brought to your attention that's happening on a worldwide scale to BME or Black people?
I feel like the reason why it's affecting us the most is because of lack of like this the what's the word I'm looking for? Mm, hold on. Like we are not getting enough medical attention. For example, I heard that black women are more likely to die from giving birth in the UK, which is one of the most like advanced cities in terms of medical equipment and stuff. So like even before the coronavirus, we were still getting affected by like mental and physical health problems when we go to the hospital, and we were more likely to be pushed in mental hospitals. So it's lack of what's it called medical attention. Because before in Africa, like there are way less cases of coronavirus amongst black people, and some people might say because they're not reporting as much. But I feel like because they are more engaged in themselves, and yeah.
In terms of like how you're finding out about like what's going on,
Yeah.
regarding how things are developing and stuff, do you look to the news or social media? How do you kind of find out, what's the latest developments and what's happening, maybe, as you said, in other countries? Because, you've got these kind of concerns about what's happening in Africa or here or in other places.
It's about a bit of both because sometimes because I looked at the news and I see that the BMA community is the most affected by it, and also social media talks about it. But then, like I heard that like Madagascar, they found a thingy, this cure for it, and
Okay.
African countries are buying it, but I still haven't heard any European country mentioning it. So I'm kind of confused about that.
So in terms of work, as you said, you're one of the people is still actually able to work. Has your place, is it still all the same kind of staff that's coming back? How did you manage to find out that you were able to go back to work? And is there a different kind of strategy in place now because of obviously social distancing and that type of thing?
Yeah, like now everyone has to wear a mask and gloves, and we need to stay like 2 meters apart from each other, and it's kind of uncomfortable and hard as like since I work in a fast food restaurant, we need to work as a team. So keeping a distance from each other is challenging.
So okay, this is news to me. Okay, so you have to wear a mask
Yeah,
as
and
well,
gloves.
and keep a distance as well whilst at
Yeah,
work.
yeah.
Okay, wow. Okay.
That's why the staff has been reduced.
Right. So reduce staff, but you're obviously one of the lucky ones who got to be picked to go into work. So I mean, in terms of okay, all you guys in there working, how do you kind of feel? Do you feel protected with how these new measurements that's come in?
Um, yeah, like I don't feel like without the measurements, I feel like the virus would spread like much faster. So I feel like wearing gloves and keeping distance is helping.
And obviously, it'll probably help the customers if they see that you're protected and you're taking precautions as well.
And how is it? Because obviously, people going out to work is there's not that commute because London is so busy when you're going out to work and stuff like that. How is it when you're kind of like traveling as well? Are people looking at you you're like, are you supposed to be out? Or how is it as you're working? Is anybody questioning you why you're out? Or are you saying, oh yeah, I'm working? Has there ever been a
Uh,
problem with that?
Not really because I'm seeing other people out. Like, because when I go to work, I see a lot of people out as well, like cars and everything. I don't think people are really respecting the lockdown measurements. Yeah.
And is it different types of age groups that you're seeing who are out at work? I mean, how do you know that these people aren't out working just like you are?
I'm not sure because mainly I see people that look about in their 20s.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I've never I don't think I've ever seen someone with gray hair. I mainly see people in their 20s, so they might be going to work, but I'm not sure.
And stuff. So yeah. So I mean, in terms of everything that is going on, is there anything that you feel about prior to this lockdown and now that it's happened that gives you a kind of different perspective on life at the moment? Do you kind of view things as you did before, or is anything kind of like changed for you in terms of how to go about your business really?
Mm. I feel like because I've never thought that like a big city like London, because right now we live in the fast world. I've never thought that everything could just stop like that. Yeah, so that really changed how I view society. Because just a little thing like a virus basically stopped everything. I'm not minimizing the effect of the virus. But yeah, however, now it has given us more time to work on ourselves. Because before we had the excuse that we always had something to do, so we didn't have time. But now we can get productive. However, that's like this lockdown is having the opposite effect. People, since they have more time, instead of being more productive, they've actually got lazier.
Oh. And is that particular like your age group or people that you've noted that they're
Yeah,
not
my
using the
age group.
time?
So regarding your age group and your peeps and stuff like that, how has that affected them? Do you know? Are they dealing with it as good as you? Are they working like you, or how is the majority of people that you know dealing with it, and are they able to cope? Are they still working?
In my age group, I only know one person that works, but he's always been working because he's a key worker. Because he used to work in, I think, Sainsbury's.
Same.
He had to keep working. Like, yeah, that's as far as I know. We are the only two people that are working. Everyone else is just trying to do their homework and yeah, just watch Netflix.
Watch
Yeah, there's
Netflix.
a lot of Netflix series
Okay, at
being
least
watched.
at least they do something than Netflix and stuff. So I mean, like, do you think it will go back to normal? Do you think there's ever going to be normal again?
I feel like when this whole lockdown is over, the first few weeks or maybe a month is gonna be a bit weird. But then I feel like gradually people are gonna get back to normal. Like they're gonna wake up, go to work, and we're gonna get back to the same old routine.
I was going to say, in terms of your studies now, you say that you were studying before that. So was your course online or were you actually going into a building and stuff like that?
I actually had to go into a building because since I was doing my A levels, it was a lot of essay based work. So I actually had to be in the school to
Yeah.
get everything explained to me, and so I can know what I'm doing. But now everything has been moved online, and that's because I'm not really a fan of online classes.
Yeah.
So that's been something hard for me. Like, still to this day, I still haven't properly adapted to it.
So how is your work continuing on with uni and things like that? Because obviously, as you say, some people thrive in an environment where you've got your person there, your teacher there, and you've got the students around you, and you've got access to the books and stuff. How is it? Are you still able to study just now, or is everything frozen?
I think for me,
Mm-hmm.
I think everything. Yeah, you can keep studying, but for me, because me personally, I thrive better in an environment where there are other people and the teacher.
Mm.
So like everything is harder for me, like because like I don't really like studying by myself. So most of the time, I don't really complete the work and stuff. But for the uni, like most people are probably gonna get accredited grades. Yeah, and also like some of the teachers said that the work that we are doing now is gonna affect the accredited grades that they're gonna give to the unis. And
Wow.
I don't really think that's fair because no one has ever been through this situation and we are not really used to it. So
Mm.
most people are gonna underachieve just because they are not used to this new way of working.
So how does that work? Do they how are they coming up with that grade mark? Is that based on what you did previously, or is it still what you're contributing now away from home, and you have to like send in your grade work, or
Basically we they send us work to do and they give us a specific time period to do it.
mm-hmm.
And then when we have to send it back and for them to mark it, and then they combine the work that we've done previously and the work that we are doing now to see like what to predict us.
Okay.
Okay, and is help still on hand because you said that sometimes you need to speak with one of the teachers who are there or whatever. So can you still get help if you're struggling with something or
No, like
any
sometimes I try
support?
to, yeah, sometimes I try to send emails, but by the time they reply, the lesson's already over, and I have to like wait until 2 days after. So yeah, but sometimes when they see that I'm not really attending to the lessons, then they call to check up to see if I'm okay and everything. But yeah, the help has been very restricted.
So do you feel that the setup has been prepared properly, or do you feel like okay, these things weren't implemented, so people are going to start failing? How do you feel like your uni's kind of dealt with the situation so that people can still, obviously the work is still demanded of you. So do you feel like you've got support, or do you think more things needed to be implemented for you to carry on successfully?
I feel like, I feel like there is enough help, but it depends because me, I was lucky that I had a laptop to work on beforehand. But I know many people that don't even have Wi-Fi at home or a laptop, and I don't know how they're going to do the work, and they are still getting assessed based on what they're doing now. So I feel like there should have been more help for that and more preparation as well.
Yeah, the libraries are closed. Yeah.
Libraries and internet cafes and all that kind of stuff aren't going to be open, are they?
No.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so thanks for highlighting that. Okay, so I mean, you said also that you are a CT leader in Black Minds Matters. So I mean, if you can tell us, how did you come to hear about Black Minds Matters, and what does it entail for you to be a CT leader?
Basically, they one of the mentors like came to our school one day, and basically my school picked a certain amount of people, and I was one of them. So I was hearing them talking, and then they said that if we wanted to join, that we just had to send them an email. So I did that, and then I joined Blackmindsmatter. And then also after like I believe 2 3 months that I've been with them, they introduced us to this new program called City Leaders, where an organization would give us funding for us to make social change in the environment we live in. But yeah, that kind of stuff now.
Okay, so in terms of the kind of what the course entails, what kind of things are you learning, and what is it that you're kind of contributing in order to put some kind of changes in, and what's the changes directed towards?
Okay, so right now we're learning about thinking leadership skills.
Hmm.
Then we've got mentors assigned to us to help us get into the units that we want to get into, and they're like pushing us to get into Russell Group universities. And also the social changes are like towards the community. For example, how you call it, youth centers that have been closed down. We want to help them reopen.
What type of people should attend Black Minds Matters for anybody who's not attended, and what do you mostly get out of being there and participating in that leadership program?
I feel like every person that's part of the BMA community should attend to that. And yeah, and it's giving me more, it's giving me a different insight in society and in how I should deal with stuff and my future in general. Because now I understand the importance of being a black person in a racist society.
During this whole situation with the lockdown, you still working, having to study, and also being socially aware as well. How do you find time to keep your sanity, to be chilled, to pass your pastime as such, basically, and kind of relax?
I feel like just staying with family more because there's not much to do. So you either stay in bed the whole day or you stay with family. Yeah.
And so do you feel like one of the biggest challenges maybe for a lot of people, maybe including in your age group and for yourself who are maybe students and have maybe like a part-time job and stuff, is the fact that you don't actually have a schedule, and not actually having a schedule in place is challenging because people aren't finding that they're just sleeping more and they're not actually, having that kind of focus in order to give themselves a schedule and some goals within the day.
Yeah, because as I said before, one of the hardest things that I found is to stay on schedule because I don't really have anyone making me do it. So I have to kind of force myself. But before, I had to actually be in the actual building. So I had to wake up every morning, go to school, and follow the lessons. But now I can just wake up whenever I want and do the work whenever I want. So I think that's one of the negative sides to it. And I think people are like, not only me, but like, the majority of people in my age group are really struggling with that.
Is there anything that you'd like to kind of like share just before we leave about anybody who's maybe a student or maybe wants to attend Black Minds Matter?
Maybe some advice or something.
Yeah, so something that you can maybe leave to give us a little bit of encouragement.
I feel like people should just stay away from social media because we are comparing ourselves to other people. Because during this lockdown, we've seen other people starting their own businesses and doing actually productive stuff. So we kind of tend to compare ourselves to those people, but then we forget that we have different things we are coping with different things. Everyone is going through a different experience. So maybe they had more support from their families, etc. But since with social media, we keep comparing ourselves to each other. So I feel like people should just stay away from it.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks so much for your time. All the best with the studies and hopefully all goes well. And keep yourself safe and keep yourself blessed. All right.
Okay, thank you. Bro.
Take care. Thank you. Have a good day.
All right, take care.
Yeah.
So thank you to Yousou for sharing his experience during this lockdown. Everybody's got different things that they're going through, so we really appreciate people taking the time to kind of speak and share that experience. If there's anything that you found interesting or you want to drop a comment or share a story yourself down below, then please do it in the comment section. Or you can email us on info@blackmindsmatter.co.uk. You can also join our website and you can sign up to the newsletter and keep informed about what's going on. There's also helpful tips there. We've got videos and things on the website as well, so you can check that out on www.blackmindsmatter.co.uk. Also join our social media services as well, which you can see on there. If you want to subscribe and you found also, if you found value in this, please subscribe, share and like with somebody else as well, and share the love. Keep yourself blessed, keep yourself safe, and if you want to check out the latest government and healthcare guidelines, then make sure you check out www.gov.uk or check out www.wandsworth.gov.uk. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you on the next podcast show. You're listening to the Black Minds Matters podcast in association with WCEN.